Well, what a change in the weather. Here in the south of England, it's so beautiful in this forest. I don't have to be jealous of Neil McCoy Ward living on the Isle of Man. I know it's very beautiful there. I've been there, seen it, it's gorgeous. But then again, so is Scotland, and so is the south of England. What an amazing country we live in. It's so beautiful. In this forest that we live in, you can go for walks in all directions for miles and miles and miles, and sometimes hardly meet a soul. So amazing, so beautiful, so peaceful. All you hear is bird song most of the time. But what a crazy world we live in. Careering to destruction, it looks like. But thank goodness, if you believe in the Bible, believe in a Creator God, we know the end of this story, and we know it's the end is good, because in the end there will be no more tears. We won't even remember all the evils of this current world. It will all be forgotten. So CBDC looks like it's not only on the horizon, but it's being tested. I can't remember, I think there's a nation in Africa have actually taken it on board, and money was done away with overnight and left everyone more or less penniless. So don't think that can't happen where you live, and I don't care where you live. These people who rule over us are psychos, despots, extremely evil beyond belief. They control all our governments with money. With the money they have behind them, the international bankers who own all major industries worldwide and all the utility companies, they have so much wealth. They can buy off anyone, and they do. The love of money, isn't it? The love of money, the root of all evil. And people just sit down, politicians worldwide, they just sit down and say, yeah, whatever, as long as you keep my bank account flowing with plenty of your lovely cash, I'll do whatever you say. Look at the UK, look what we've just agreed to. We, the government, this ludicrous, insane government, as insane as the Biden government, we've just agreed to send long-range missiles to Ukraine. But don't worry, nothing to worry about here, because the most corrupt government listed in Europe, the Ukraine government, is listed, it's even been noted in the major London newspapers years ago, listed as the most corrupt country or government on the face, well, in Europe at least, but one of the worst in the world as well. It's in, I think, the top 5. But they have said, don't worry, send us these missiles and we promise we won't target Moscow. Of course we won't. We're not that stupid, because we know that if we target Moscow, the next thing you might have to send over UK soldiers to help in this fight, because Russia will not be pleased because you've sent these missiles to us here in the Ukraine. So, but we promise not to use them in a bad way. We'll only use them for short range missions. Yeah, Ukraine, a country that used to have, I don't know, about 32 million, and it's down to about 18 million, I think. People have fled, vowing never to return, because it's a strange makeup of a country, seemingly. The Ukraine, the borderland, that's what it's called, the borderland. And it's a mixture of people, Ukrainians, Russians, can't remember the names of the other groups of people who live there, but it's a It's a mix of different peoples from different nations. And of course that's why when NATO took control of it via a coup, when was it, 2014, the Ukrainian army immediately started targeting the Russian people who live in the Donbass part of Ukraine. And then Russia is evil and wrong for taking it back and freeing the people. Seriously? It was their own people they were freeing. They slaughtered, the Ukrainian army was slaughtering Russian people in the Donbass. And Russia held back and held back and held back, always wanted peace talks, always wanted to be sane about it. But of course, none of the NATO countries' governments would ever talk to Putin, because Putin's the evil one, not the NATO countries. We're good. We don't do bad things in the world. We don't drop bombs on innocent Iraqis or Afghanis or whatever. It's not what we do. We're good people, not like the evil Russians who dare to move in to protect their own people who are being slaughtered. Tens of thousands of them were slaughtered. But you've not to know about that. We've just got people arriving here. Ah, yeah. What a beautiful day, yeah. Amazing. Hey, that's enough, that's enough. I've got a fiery little dog here that thinks that every other dog is a threat, and the bigger the dog, the fiercer she gets. She would take on a bear, believing that she could win. So I've got to be very careful. But anyway, the Ukraine. I heard the latest, seemingly, that BlackRock, I think that's the biggest, most powerful financial institution on earth. BlackRock have now taken the Ukraine under its wings as its own little nation for whatever reason. But up until now, you won't hear this on the BBC or any mainstream media. There's 300,000 dead Ukrainian soldiers. They haven't got an army left. They've been forcing youngsters, grabbing, lynching youngsters on the street and in universities, dragging them out, forcing them onto the front line, saying, stand and fight. And if anyone tries to escape and go back, they either get shot or thrown into prison. But again, will the BBC talk about that? No, of course they won't. The only way to get any truth of what's going on is to listen to mainstream, alternative media like Colonel Douglas McGregor, Scott Ritter, Redacted, that's a good source. Neil McCoy Ward, also, though he's mostly into finance, but he does touch on various other subjects. He's very knowledgeable. Although finance, talking about finance, why would you convert what you've got money-wise? Even though the banks are probably going to crash and steal your money, you convert it into silver or gold, that's all traced. They know your name and address, and they could do what they did before in America. They could do it worldwide in any nation. Just say, oh, by the way, if you're holding gold or silver, you've got to take it to your local post office, hand it over, and we'll give you X amount per ounce for it, because we need it. It's now illegal to hold gold or silver. So if you don't hand it over, we'll be knocking on your door. I've never trusted that. I've never trusted gold or silver. I think it'll be a case of fend for yourself shortly. Hopefully not. Hopefully it won't come to that. But the short term is not looking too good, especially with all the illegals flooding into all the English-speaking nations. It seems, apart from, I think Australia may be the only country who's made a stand against them. But the United States has seemingly had an influx of about 6 million of them. 6 million people, and they're a mix of people. They're Mexicans, they're from all over South America, they're from China, they're from Africa, they're from all over. Most of them don't even speak any English. So who's looking after them? Some of them have got guns. They're being trained. People who can only speak Mandarin, Chinese, at gun ranges, being trained how to use all the various types of guns and munitions. Talk about countries being at war today. Talking about nations being at war, like the Bible said, nations or tribes will rise up and fight each other. It says nations, but I think it's actually talking about various types of peoples within nations will rise up and fight each other. And now you've got a huge invasion, not only of the UK, but the majority are young, fighting-aged males. But we've got to take them in, we've got to take care of them, because we've got so much spare cash available and so many spare houses that ex-vets are living on the streets and under bridges. We haven't got money for them or houses for them, but never mind. I mean, we need it for all these people floating over in boats. And an invasion it is. I can't remember how many a day come over. But when you talk about a monthly amount and then a yearly amount, you're talking about a massive army here and in the States, and I don't know in what other countries, but it's an attack on Jacob. It's the rise of Esau, Edom, and the time of Jacob's trouble. And for the short term, it doesn't look like it's going to get any better, but like I say, we know the end of this story. We know where they all end up. So it's a case of each of us needing to seek God, the Creator, start reading the Bible, start talking to God, pray to God for help and understanding. It's the only way I can understand anything that's going on this planet. It was by reading through all the prophecies. And the prophecies are pretty shocking. They've got information in them that way back then they had no idea what they were talking about. But today when we read them, we can say, oh my goodness, yeah. Like the AI army in Joel, the book of Joel, like the CBDC, digital currency that's being forced upon us, is mentioned in the book of Revelation, and that will bring with it the mark of the beast, and soon we won't be able to trade, to buy or sell, unless we bow down to this very soon coming one world leader. He must be in the wings, about to step onto the world stage. He must be, because America is preparing, or has even started its war against China. But that's too soon. It can't be right now. Until this one world leader arrives, there won't be exactly a third world war. He's got to be here, and he'll be in charge when China gets attacked, and he'll offer peace, he'll offer solutions to everything. Everyone's going to worship this guy, so watch out for him. He's going to appear any day soon.